welcome to Firm Foundation Bitesize, lesson number 3, God Alone. Once again, I want to put in a shameless plug for my podcast, Where is God When Life Sucks? It's a twice weekly podcast that uses movies, TV shows, whatever's going on in our pop culture as a springboard for devotionals where I try to bring things into focus. Some of my past podcasts are centered on the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why on suicide, a 5-part series on homosexuality, toxic masculinity, Game of Thrones, the art of being offended, Into Thin Air, the tragedy of adopting the wrong goal, which was about a tragic death on Mount Everest, Living in a Madhouse, Losing My Mind, and so many more podcasts on various topics that hopefully will resonate with where you live and stuff that you're going through. So check out my podcast, Where is God When Life Sucks? It's at iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Podbean, and CastBox. You can also go straight to my podcast homepage, which is found at majorjolt.podbean.com. All my devotionals are listed in order. They'll just pop up. There's over 100 of them. So check them out. I think you're going to find Where is God When Life Sucks? A helpful start to your day or week. All right? Great. Well, in today's lesson, to borrow from Star Trek, we're going where no man has ever gone before. And I'm not talking about the mission of the Starship Enterprise. I'm talking about God's creation of our universe and galaxy, which is just one of billions of galaxies. Here's a brief video clip to give you an idea of the vastness of our universe, which is just one of many universes out there. Today's lesson will expand your mind. We're going to get a clear understanding that all this just didn't happen with a big bang. It was created by an intelligence far beyond that of any man, and the power and the might of Almighty God is more than we could ever imagine. We begin with A. Only God is eternal. Everything else had a beginning. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. You see, before the beginning there was no universe, no earth, no angels, no devil, no plants, no animals, no people. All of these had specific beginnings. Now we come to B. God alone had no beginning, and God will have no end. God is eternal. God is supreme and sovereign. Psalm 90, verse 2. Before the mountains were born, before you gave birth to the earth and the world, from beginning to end, you are God. You see, God didn't have a beginning. God was not created. He's always been alive. He's always been, and he'll always be the same. There never will be a time when God does not exist. God can never die. Now, with our modern telescopes, we've also learned more about objects beyond our solar system. There's this thick dust cloud in the Eagle Nebula, which is about 7,000 light years away from our sun. That means that if you're traveling at the speed of light, it would take you 7,000 years to get there. This nebula is 7,000 light years away. Still, it's within our own galaxy. But I'm going to show you more and more distant objects that are way beyond our galaxy. So try to keep in mind the great distances of these objects. This is the Andromeda galaxy. It was less than 100 years ago that we learned that our galaxy was only one of many galaxies. Scientists estimate that there are 1 trillion stars in the Andromeda galaxy. And there's this massive black hole in the center of this galaxy, along with 26 more black holes. Andromeda is the nearest large galaxy to our own. It's about 2 million light years away. That means it would take you 2 million years for you to get there if you're traveling at the speed of light. Now here's another galaxy, which is called the Whirlpool Galaxy. It's 22 million light years away. That's 10 times further away than the last galaxy I showed you, the Andromeda Galaxy. Now, think about the fact that we live on one little planet called Earth, orbiting one star in a galaxy of billions of stars, and that our galaxy is just one of billions of galaxies in God's creation. A new study using the Hubble telescope has now concluded that there are trillions of galaxies in our universe. Now, try to wrap your head around that. Some people react to this by feeling profoundly insignificant. They think maybe God is just some idea that we puny humans have thought up to make us feel better, or an idea which can't possibly have any relevance in this huge universe. They think that if God did exist, he couldn't possibly care about us while he's governing the whole universe. All the more amazing is that God created all this which goes out into eternity, and just as we can't get to the end of all the galaxies which go on and on and on, so we can't figure God out because he's eternal and we're finite. But we can get to know him as we study the Bible, which is his revelation of himself to us. We come to see, because God alone existed before all things, God is completely independent of everything and everyone. You see, God was there alone before the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the galaxies. God doesn't need air to breathe. God doesn't need food to eat or water to drink. He doesn't need the sun. He can see perfectly without any light. He doesn't need to sleep. He has no need of day or night. And God doesn't need any source of energy. And he never gets tired, hungry, or thirsty. In lesson number 4, we'll continue our look at God alone and how God is supreme and sovereign, and he can be in all places at one time. If you want to go into further detail in today's study, go to my website, foundationstudy.weebly.com, for detailed notes and videos. All right, but I'll join you next time in lesson number 4, Bite Size. Until then, this is Pastor Dale saying, Shalom.